Okay, good afternoon to one and all. Today will be the revision of unit number 4 as we have finished 4 points. The major 4 points we have studied are nothing but the Bluetooth, low energy, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, and RFID. And related with those four communication technologies, we have studied their architecture, characteristics, limitations, power consumption parameters, and applications. Now, let us start with the title of the chapter, which is nothing but communication technology for Internet of Things. So, communication is simply an act of transferring the information from one person to another person or from one group to another group. And the technology means the application of a scientific knowledge to the practical aims of human life, or it may be defined as sometimes frames to change and manipulation of human environment. And you know, Internet of Things, it's a network of physical objects or person called as things that are embedded with software, electronics, network, and sensors that allow these objects to collect and exchange the data. So in this way, we have studied three words that comes into this chapter, that is communication technology and for IoT. The student will get introduced to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee used for the IoT. And importance is that communication technologies play an important role in any wireless network. IoT concepts involve all heterogeneous objects around us, communication with each other locally as well as via internet globally. So let us start with the revision of the first communication technology, that is RFID, which is also called as radio frequency identification. It has an RFID reader and RFID tag. There is also the RFID object. So there is an object which you're going to track, and this object is which you're going to track. That may be the object, animal, person, anything. So tag is used to store some of the information or data of the object. This is a wireless less communication technology that incorporates the use of electromagnetic coupling in radio frequency position of electromagnetic spectrum to uniquely identify an object such as animal or person and tracking them. So the tag depends on the RFID reader for energy. The RFID reader continuously sends the radio waves when the object is in the range. Then RFID sends the feedback signal back to the reader. In RFID, the signal is not in line of sight like बारकोड. जैसे बारकोड में आपको लाइन ऑफ साइट में जाना पड़ता है तभी वो डिटेक्ट होता है, मगर RFID में वो कहीं से भी आपको थ्रू आउट रेंज में आप उसको आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. The multiple objects can be identified at the same time, so this is also very important. आप देखते हो कि RFID के थ्रू मल्टीपल ऑब्जेक्ट्स को भी आइडेंटिफाई किया जा सकता है एक वक्त पे. The RFID tag is attached to the object and RFID uses RF to identify the tagged item. जिसके साथ वो टैग हुआ है वो ऑब्जेक्ट को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए RFID काम में आता है. This data is then collected and then transmitted to the host system using RF reader. RFID technology can identify the moving objects and identifying multiple tags. That operation is fast and convenient. So you can see that there is an RFID reader. So this RFID reader is nothing but is connected to the antenna wirelessly and receives the data from RFID tag. Then you can go to the antenna down there. So antenna receives the stored data from the tag and transmits the data to the RFID reader. So RFID reader और एंटीना के बीच में कनेक्शन है और यही एंटीना से डेटा ट्रांसमिट होता है RFID टैग की तरफ. इट इज अटैच टू द एसेट टू ट्रांसमिट द स्टोर्ड डेटा टू द एंटीना और RFID रीडर का डेटा जो है वो कंप्यूटर डेटाबेस से कनेक्टेड है. So there are three major system components. One is a tag, which is called as transponder. Second is reader, which is called as transceiver. And the third one is backend database. So you can see that the tag is having an antenna, which is quite a big antenna that is in the square form, which you can see that's an antenna. In between, you can see a chip that is a microchip integrated antenna, and this is all about the tag, which is also said to be as transponder. So the tag is used to store the information which is then transmitted through antenna to the reader, and then the reader is connected to the computer in order to access the information. The RFID tags gives the information back to the the RFID reader gives the information back to the tag. So in this way, they communicate with each other. This is the RFID tag, which is having the block diagram. So which is having an antenna. Obviously, the tag is with the antenna. Then there is one section for transmission, that is modulator, encoder, logic control circuit, and memory. Whereas the another one is a demodulator, decoder, logic control circuit, and memory. And in between, you do have A to D and D to A converter. That is analog to digital converter and digital to analog converter. Then a simplified block schematic of RFID, also called as transponder, is here. Various components of the tag are shown. Normally the antenna is external to the tag chip and large in size. सबसे बड़ा होता है वो. Now this is the operation of RFID tag in described below. Handshaking with the reader. So tag और reader के बीच में handshaking होती है. First, the reader continuously emits the RF carrier signals and keeps observing the received RF signal for the data. The presence of the tag, जैसे tag उसके presence में आ जाता है, it modulates the RF field and the same is detected by the reader. जैसी tag उसके range में आ जाता है, reader उसको detect करता है. The passive tag absorbs a small amount of energy emitted from the reader and starts sending the modulated information when sufficient energy is acquired from the RF field generated by the reader. So RF tag क्या करेगा, कुछ एनर्जी उसमें से एब्जॉर्ब कर लेगा जो वो सिग्नल्स भेज रहा है, और बाद में यही टैग उसको सेंड करेगा मॉड्यूलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन as when it gets a sufficient energy from the RF field जो RF reader generate करता है. Note that the data modulation is accomplished by the direct modulation or FSK or phase modulation. So normally what happens कि RFID जो टैग होता है वो RFID से आने वाली एनर्जी को थोड़ा बहुत ऑब्जर्व करता है, और बाद में ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद वो मॉड्यूलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन भेजना शुरू करता है. तो ये वो तभी भेज सकता है जब उसके पास उतनी एनर्जी आ जाए जितनी उसको जरूरी है, और वो जो एनर्जी कहाँ से आती है, वो RF फील्ड जो जनरेट कर रहा है रीडर उससे उसको आती है. बाद में जो मॉड्यूलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन वो भेजता है, तो उसमें जो टेक्निक यूज होती है वो आइदर डायरेक्ट मॉड्यूलेशन है, FSK है, और फेज मॉड्यूलेशन है. द रीडर डीमॉड्यूलेट्स द सिग्नल जो RFID टैग से मिला है एंड रिसीव फ्रॉम द टैग एंटीना एंड डिकोड्स द सेम फॉर द फर्दर प्रोसेसिंग, यानी कि जो कंप्यूटर को दिया जाता है. Now tags are typically composed of microchip for storage and computation and coupling elements such as antenna coil. Then tags may also contain contact pad. Tag memory may be read only, write once, read many times, or fully rewritable. So there are different tags available. One is an active tag. So it is equipped with the power source for the circuitry and antenna. उसको दूसरे पावर लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, उसके पास खुद का पावर सोर्स है जो कि सर्किटरी को और एंटीना को लगता है. The advantage of the active tag includes readability from the distances of 100 feet or more as well as capability to have other sensors. So RFID tag कम से कम 100 feet से टच में आ सकता है. It can be connected with the RFID reader. Active tag has its own power supply for transmitting the signal back to the RFID reader and managing its own circuit. उसके पास खुद का पावर सप्लाई है, इसीलिए वो ऑन बोर्ड ट्रांसरिसीवर है, लॉन्गर रेंज है, बैटरी ऑपरेटेड है, बेटर नॉइज इम्यूनिटी है, और उसके पास हाई डेटा ट्रांसमिशन रेट है. पैसिव टैग के पास खुद का पावर सोर्स नहीं होता है, वो वही पावर सोर्स सप्लाई यूज करता है जो उसको रीडर से मिलता है. The tag draws the power from inductive coupling with the reader antenna. Reader antenna से जो उसको पावर मिलता है वही इस्तेमाल करता है. However, there are many advantages like the tag functions without battery increases the lifetime. So खुद की पावर यूज नहीं करनी पड़ती है, दूसरे की लेनी पड़ती है, तो इसलिए वो उसका लाइफ ज़्यादा होता है. It does not have its own power supply. It rely on the radio waves coming from the reader for both managing the circuit and transmitting the signal back to the reader. It derives the power from the reader. That's it. Now, semi-passive is in between active and passive tag. However, these tags only contains the batteries that power their ICs. So उनके पास उतनी वो बैटरी जो है वो सिर्फ उनके ICs को इस सर्किटरी को इस्तेमाल करने के लिए लगता है, बाकी वो यूज नहीं करता. And by using the battery only to power simple IC and sensor and not including transmitter, the semi-passive tag achieves a compromise between cost, size and range. इसलिए semi-passive tag ये दोनों के बीच में हासिल कर सकता है. इट इज द स्टेज बिटवीन द एक्टिव एंड पैसिव टैग, that is called as the semi passive tag. Then RFID tag में modulation techniques है, amplitude modulation, frequency shift keying, or it may be phase shift keying. Frequency range है low, that is short range low data rate between 100 to 500 kilohertz. Medium range and data rate is the 10 to 16 megahertz. Then there is a high 850 to 950 megahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. Large range, high data rate, and high power required. So these all are nothing but the, just a moment. It is having high 850 to 950 megahertz and 2.4 gigahertz, 4.8 gigahertz, large range, high data rate, and high power required. Then this is the RFID reader. It performs following operations. Like first, it includes enough power into the tag. Synchronization of the clock is done into the tag. It acts as a carrier for the written data from the tag. So tag से जो डेटा आता है वो RFID रीडर को एज अ कैरियर लेता है. वो टैग नीड्स टू बी लेस देन 1 मीटर अवे फ्रॉम द रीडर. सो टैग और रीडर के बीच में डिस्टेंस कम से कम 1 मीटर का होना चाहिए मिनिमम. Then frequency of operation in RFID, low frequency 125 to 134 kilohertz, high frequency 13 to 56 megahertz, ultra high frequency 860 to 960 megahertz. Then RFID reader is actually a device that is used to interrogate an RFID tag. The reader has an antenna that emits radio waves. Tag responds by sending back its data. It's the same thing whatever I've told about. Then overall, we could say that there are three main functions of RFID reader. One is a bidirectional data communication with the tags. So bidirectional है, जाता भी है आता भी है, यानी रीडर से इंफॉर्मेशन जाती है, टैग उसे एब्जॉर्ब करता है, टैग वहां से भेजता है, रीडर फिर एक बार उसको लेता है. सो इट्स अ बायडायरेक्शनल कम्युनिकेशन. इनिशियल प्रोसेसिंग ऑफ द रिसीव्ड इंफॉर्मेशन, एक बार डेटा रीडर के पास आ गया कि फिर वो प्री प्रोसेसिंग के लिए जाता है. इट इज कनेक्शन टू द सर्वर दैट लिंक्स द इंफॉर्मेशन into the enterprise. This is the RFID reader. So RFID reader signal generator, which is given to the microcontroller, and that is a received signal which is given to the microcontroller. So in both the ways, transmitted as well as reception process happens, and the process signal received from the tag. Working principles of RFID, it is a wireless use of electromagnetic field to transfer data for the purpose of automatically identifying and tracking tags attached to the object. The tag contains electronically stored information. Subtags are powered by electromagnetic induction from magnetic fields produced near the reader. Some types collect energy from the interrogating radio waves and acts as a passive transponder. Other types have local power source such as battery, and many other operates at hundred of meters from the reader. So this is about the RFID. Before RFID can be understood completely, it is essentially to understand how radio frequency communication occurs. यानी उनके बीच में radio frequency कैसे जाती है और आती है. By generating a specific electromagnetic wave at the source, its effect can be noticed at the receiver far from the source, which then identifies it, and thus that is an information. So यहाँ से जो wave जा रही है वो उधर identify हो रही है, receiver के पास वो identify हो रही है. That is nothing but your identification of the radio frequency communication. So RFID tag, as we know, that contains antenna, transducer, and encapsulating material. So there are two working principles, and one is the inductive coupling or near field coupling. So you can see from the figure, there is an inductive coupling between RFID reader and the controller, the circuit RFID reader and the tag. So you can see there is an inductive coupling. This inductive coupling is nothing but use low frequency and high frequency RFID tags. When the tag receives a signal from the reader, because of the coupling, electric voltage is generated, rectified by the rectifier circuit, and stored in the capacitor. So power is supplied to the controller and memory. Clock is synchronized. If we change the impedance of the load, and current flowing through the load will change, switching on and off between takes place. Then switching on and off will generate voltage in the RFID reader. Second one is the far field coupling or electromagnetic coupling. This RFID reader continuously send towards the RFID tag, and in response tag sends back the signal to the reader. So it is the same thing. Like RFID and barcode are two different forms of technology that are used for reading and collecting the data. Now this is the RFID architecture, which is having a three layers. So reader और tag के बीच में कम्युनिकेशन होता है. सो कौन से प्रोटोकॉल्स पे वो काम करता है? तो यहाँ पर तीन प्रोटोकॉल से एप्लीकेशन लेयर एक है रीडर साइड पे, कम्युनिकेशन लेयर है, फिजिकल लेयर है. So application layer is useful as an identification protocol. Communication layer is used for collision avoidance protocol, and physical layer is useful for radio protocol. This is the characteristics wave. Data transmission is electromagnetic waves, frequency range 100 to 500 kilohertz, 10 to 16 megahertz, or 850 to 950 megahertz, and 2.4 to 5.8 gigahertz. Modulation AM, FSK, PSK, range 10 centimeter, 1 meter, 200 meter. Limitations: lack of standard, short range, and cost is more. These are some of the applications like barcode, license plate, student IDs, car keys, database keys, livestock tagging, wild animal tracking, electronic artificial surveillance, automatic tool collection, vehicle anti-theft, airline bagging track, postal package track, attendance, social security numbers. Now, second technology after RFID is the Bluetooth. So it is nothing but it was developed in order to exchange the information over a short range without need of wires. So it operates in the range of 240 to 248.5 megahertz range within ISM 2.4 gigahertz frequency band. Your data splits up into the packet and exchanged through one of the 79 designated channels. Bluetooth was originally designed for continuous stripping data application that you exchange lot of data at a close range, and hence it is such a good fit for the consumer products. They can likely to receive data and talk at the same time and exchange the videos from one device to another device. So examples of Bluetooth, all wireless headset is there nowadays. File transfer between the device can be done through Bluetooth. Wireless keyboard and printers can be like keyboard and printers can be connected directly with the PC. Wireless speakers are available, and actually Bluetooth came into the market in 2011. um, uh, Bluetooth low energy, which is also said to be as Bluetooth 4.0, which is a low power consumption technology, with BLE application run on a small battery for nearly 4 to 5 years. So it's not an idea of taking on the phones, but vital for application that need to exchange small amount of data periodically, and that can happen with the help of Bluetooth. So there are two types of Bluetooth. One is a Bluetooth Classic, and second is Bluetooth 4.0, which is also called as BLE, called as Bluetooth Low Energy. BLE operates in 2.4 gigahertz ISM band. BLE remains in a sleep mode constantly for when the connection is not initialized. The actual connection time is up to 100 milliseconds, which is short due to high data rate at MB per seconds. Device type, as already said, there's a classic BT and BLE, single mode support on BLE, and classic BT. The terminologies that need to be understood is adaptive frequency hopping, a technology whereby only a subset of frequency is used. This allows device to avoid frequency than other than non-adaptive technologies are using. Frequency hopping, the use of multiple frequencies to communicate between the devices. One frequency is used at a time and each frequency used in a defined sequence. Third terminology is piconet, which is nothing but pico plus network. Pico is a prefix of 10 raised to minus 12. Therefore, pico is a small network. Piconet has a single master device that coordinates with all other slaves. This is the BLE connection establishment. You can see that there is a initiator and advertiser. So for advertising channels, the advertiser sends the advertisement to the initiator, and initiator connect request to the advertiser. Then if you see that master and slave between data channels, the data is sent by the initiator. Then the poll is sent, the data is sent back to the initiator. Acknowledgement is sent by the initiator, and then advertiser terminates it, and master acknowledges it. So in this way, you can have the connection establishment, transmission of one packet, and connection termination diagram. This is the four active states of BLE. So you can see that advertising, connection, initializing, and scanning. This BLE link layer can be described in terms of state diagram or the machine diagram. So you can see that the link layer is a part of a layer which directly interfaces to the physical layer. It is responsible for advertising, scanning, creating and maintaining of connections between masters and slave. Link layer state machine allows only one state to be active at a time. Link layer may have multiple instances of link layer state machine. It shall have at least one state machine which supports one of the advertising state or the scanning state. तो सबसे पहले स्टैंड बाय स्टेट है, इसमें रिसिप्शन भी नहीं होता है और ट्रांसमिशन भी नहीं होता है किसी पैकेट का. Advertising state is in this state it is called as advertiser. Scanning state is called as scanner. Initiating state is called as initiator. This is the connection state. This state can be reached either from the initiating state और the advertising state. So इसमें देख सकते हैं आप connection state को जाने के लिए किससे हो सकता है, वो advertising state से भी आ सकता है, initializing state से भी आ सकता है. तो यहाँ पर से diagram पे से आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. Synchronization state, this state can be entered from the standby state. This link layer in this state listens for periodic channel packets from specified device transmitting periodic advertising. Then this is the architecture of BLE. So there are three sections. One is the controller, second one is the host, third one is the application. So the first one is the controller, which is having the physical layer and the link layer. Then host is having the L2 cap, SMP, security manager, attribute protocol ATT, generic attribute protocol GAT, and generic access profile that is called as GAP. So physical layer actually controls the radio transmission, receiving, transmission and reception of the bits at 2.4 gigahertz, use of the modulation scheme like GFSK. Direct test mode is an approach to test the physical layer. It allows the tester to transmit or receive test packet and then can analyze the packet. Second one is a link layer. It defines the packet structure, includes the state machine and radio control. Most complex part of BLE is the link layer, responsible for advertising, scanning and maintaining connection. And you can see that packet structuring with the bits as below. Then host contains the multiplexing layer, protocols and procedures, the logical link layer and adaptation protocol called as L2 cap, security manager protocol, attribute protocol, generic attribute profile GAT, and generic access profile called as GAP. So L2 cap acts as a protocol multiplexer and handles segmentation and reassembly of the packets. That is the main use of it. ATT is an attribute protocol, provides mean to transmit the data between Bluetooth low energy devices. GAT is used to group individual attributes into logical services. For example, the heart rate service, which exposes the operation of heart rate sensor. Generic access profile, it provides means for Bluetooth low energy device to advertise themselves or other device, make device discovery, open and manage connections and broadcast data. Security manager is provides a mean of bonding devices, like by providing encryption and decryption of the data and enabling device privacy. Then HCI is called as host to controller interface, allows host to communicate with the controller, allows exchange of command and data between host and controller. Example is USB UART, application define types of services and provide services. Characteristics of BLE, having a blank sheet of paper design like range 15-meter open field, output power 10 milliwatt, maximum current 20 milliampere, latency 3 milliseconds, topology used is star, modulation GFSK, slip current is 1 milliampere, it is low cost, low power consumption, eavesdropping potential, maintain privacy of the device. Limitations of BLE: longer packets over smaller network, complex short range, data rate 0.3 Mbps, and that is lower data rates. Applications in screen graphics, pictures, hands-free audio, mobile phones, headsets, sports match, shoes, thermometer, weighing machine, blood rate, heart rate connected to the computers or mobiles, remote, VCR, music system connected to TV, home automation, door, lamp, oven, CCTV. So we have finished two RFID and then Bluetooth. Now next will be Zigbee. This is all about revision. So those who will be attending, they will get all the revision here in this one lecture. So now Zigbee technology is a standard designed for control and sensor network. It is based on IEEE 802.15.4. It was created by Zigbee Alliance. It operates in PAN and device to device network. It provides the connectivity between small packet devices, can control light switches, thermostats, etc. It operates in 868 megahertz to 950 megahertz, 2.4 gigahertz frequency band, and the maximum data rate is 250 kbps. So you can see the difference between Zigbee, Bluetooth, and BLE. Zigbee is having a data rate of 20 to 250 kbps. Typical range is 10 to 100 meters. Bluetooth 1 to 3 Mbps, 2 to 10 meters. BLE zero point 0.3 Mbps, 2 to 10 meters. There are two Zigbee device types. One is a FFD and the second one is RFD. FFD is called as a full function device. RFD is called as reduced function device. Full FFD is capable of performing all the duties that is described by IEEE 802.15.4 standard and can accept any role in the network. FFD can operate in three mode: PAN coordinator, coordinator, or device. RFD has a limited capabilities that FFD can communicate with any device, but RFD can communicate with only FFD. So FFD किसी से भी communicate कर सकता है, मगर RFD सिर्फ FFD से ही communicate कर सकता है. Power and memory required for RFD is less. So now we'll see three topologies of Zigbee: star topology, mesh topology, and cluster topology. So you can see the star topology. You can see in a gray color that is called as the FFD full function device. Then the dark one is a PAN coordinator, that is personal area network coordinator. And the white one is an RFD, that is reduced function device. So you can see that FFD can communicate with anyone, but the RFD can communicate with only FFD. So you can see that the RFD can communicate with it. So this is star topology. This is the mesh topology, which is also called as peer-to-peer topology. So this is the cluster topology. It's called as a cluster T topology. So you can see that there is a cluster of things. So now this is the data transfer methods in Zigbee. So you can see Zigbee coordinator and Zigbee end devices. When Zigbee end devices sends a data request to the Zigbee coordinator acknowledges it by sending a bit called 0FP equal to 0. So this is the data transfer to the coordinator from the device. So to the coordinator from the device. Now this is the data transfer from the coordinator to the device. So anyhow, like Zigbee end device sends a data request, then Zigbee coordinator sends an acknowledgement bit FP equal to 1. Then it also sends the data which is acknowledged by the Zigbee end devices. This is the Zigbee architecture. So you can see that there are major four layers. One is a physical layer, second is a MAC layer, third one is a network link layer, fourth one is an application layer, APL. The bottom two layer, physical and MAC, are defined by the IEEE standards, whereas the above two, APL and network, are defined by the Zigbee specifications. So you can see that physical layer is having a role of bit by bit transmission, synchronization, electrical to physical medium interface, and there is an electromagnetic radiations at 868 megahertz to 915 megahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. Whereas in case of Mac, you can have a subpart. It is a subpart of a data link layer responsible for transmission of packets to and from. So packet भेजने का और रिसीव करने का काम मैक करता है. Then network का काम है formation of a network, forwarding the packets from best path, assigning 16-bit network address, route the network packets. Then APL is divided into APS, AO, and ZDO, whereas APS is called as the binding. APS is useful for binding tables, uh, message forwarding, group address definition and management, extended addresses to 16-bit network address, fragmentation and reassembly of the packets. AO send and receive the data, ZDO initialize the APS and network layer, device discovery and determination. Then 8 is security service, encryption and decryption, key distribution. This is the ZigBee packet structure. So you're having the transmitted first and transmitted last bit, can have the MAC frame, network frame, and APS frame. So SHR is called as the synchronization header, start bit, stop bit, and parity bit. PHR is a physical header, payload length information. So PHR यहाँ पर दिख रहा है आपको, देखो PHR है. उसके बाद MHR है MAC address, address and security information. MFR is a MAC footer, contains 16-bit frame check sequence and verification. NHR network header, network layer addressing and control information. AHR APS header, application layer control information. Auxiliary HDR is security keys, and MIC is a message integrity code to detect unauthorized changes in the content of the message. So ZigBee characteristics: low cost, low power consumption, low data rate, short range 30 meters to 100 meters, flexible protocol design suitable for many applications, operating frequency range 686 to 915 megahertz, 2.4 gigahertz, support power saving sleeping mode, data rate up to 250 kbps, follows IEEE 802.15.4 standard, modulation BPSK, ASK, QPSK, topology star mesh, simple in construction, and supports large modes than 64,000. Limitations is route reconstruction is costly, latency is longer, smaller packets over larger network, data rate up to 250 kbps. So ZigBee applications, you can see the applications as industrial and commercial, sensor automation control, then personal healthcare, diagnostic sensor, toys and games, portable education device, home automation, PC peripherals, mouse, keyboard, joysticks, and consumer electronics. Now, the last one is Wi-Fi. Now, this Wi-Fi is also called as the wireless fidelity. It is a wireless technology that uses radio frequency to transmit the data through air. It is having the four types of technology. Actually, it is having the four types of technologies, and one is 802.11a, then 802.11b, 802.11g, and one more is there, 802.11n, which I have missed here. You can consider that there are four 802.11 standard technologies, Wi-Fi technologies, and these are four. Wi-Fi was introduced by the Wi-Fi Alliance, which is a non-profit organization, and also called as Ethernet Compatibility Alliance. Then this benefits of Wi-Fi makes it very precious and very important. Wireless Ethernet, it's a wireless replacement to Ethernet. Then extended access, the absence of wires and cables. Cost reduction, absence of wires and cables. Mobility and flexibility creates opportunities for new applications. Now you can see here the Wi-Fi, we have already seen that IBPS is the independent basic service set. Second one is a basic service set. And the third one is an extended service set. So you can see in IBSS, there is no access point. In BSS, there is an access point. And in ESS, there are more than two or more access points. This is what the difference between the architectures are. Now, if you see the architecture, there are basic components, a wireless device that join the Wi-Fi network, whether mobile or portable, are called as wireless stations. So that may be PC, laptop, mobile, PDS. When two or more STAs are wirelessly connected, they form a BSS, that is basic service set. And the basic service set is a set of STAs controlled by the single coordination function, CF, which is a logical function that determines when STA transmits and receives the data. Operating modes are basically two operating modes. One is ad hoc and the second one is infrastructure mode. In case of ad hoc mode, you can see that there is a communication between different terminals. But in case of infrastructure mode, what will happen that there are two groups. These one group is connected to the access point. The second group of computers are connected to the another access point and another router. And these routers are connected. These access points are connected with each other through a distributed system. And the distributed system can be like IEEE, LAN or Ethernet. So you can understand this. This is a fixed layer TCP model which is having physical layer, data link layer में फिर MAC और LLC है, network, transport and application layer. So out of these 5 layers, the bottom 2 layers are follows the standard of IEEE 802.11. So this is the physical layer which is useful for modulation, encoding, bit by bit transmission, and MAC layer which is a sub layer of DLL, data link layer, control transmission of data, mobility management, MAC, etc. Wi-Fi characteristics, the range is about 50 meters open field throughput, 10 Mbps, range freedom, no setup cost, no cabling required, flexible, mobile access, operating frequency up to 55.3 gigahertz for 802.11a and 2.4 gigahertz for 802.11b and 802.11g. Data rate 54 Mbps for 802.11a and 802.11g, 11 Mbps for 802.11b. Modulation techniques, for 802.11a OFDM means orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, 802.11b यानी कि direct sequence spectrum, 802.11g again OFDM, bandwidth about 2 to 22 megahertz, 13 to 14 channels. Then Wi-Fi limitations are there. Speed is slower than the cable network. Range is affected by the medium. Travels best through the open space, but can reduced by the walls, obstacles like walls, glass, water, etc. Security, it is greater exposure to the risk. Unauthorized access, comprising data denial of services. Front to interface at 8.2.4 gigahertz. Wi-Fi applications in electronic devices, industrial process and control applications, emergency applications, battlefield or disaster situations. It can be used as in surveillance camera, vertical market. Phone companies uses Wi-Fi hotspot for their users to get free internet access. So you know that Wi-Fi hotspot is there on your mobile phone also. You can access the net of another person if he gives an access to it. So this is all about the unit number 4. So is there any question? Is there any question? We have revised. Is there any question? Please let me know. Please let me know. Is there any questions? Should I take attendance? Hello? Hello?